Gambling God here with you Tuesday, December 10, reviewing your fixed NBA from Monday night. We're going to go through the fixed NBA with you now, and then we'll give you our picks for tonight. We're going to do these videos in segments for you because your attention span is that of a Coke addict, and I know a lot about that. NBA last night, December 9, Clippers at Indiana. We took Indiana. Paul George smoked their ass, scoring 36 in his homecoming. Clippers defeat Indiana. A little surprising to me. No Kawhi Leonard. No problem for the Clippers. Patrick Beverley off the bench. Clippers going into Indiana, doing what they have to do. Indiana needs Oladipo back. I need Oladipo back on my fantasy team. That is a loser there for the Gambling God. Surprising in that regard. Boston home for Cleveland. Boston took care of them. I had no problem with that. I took Boston, but, no value there, minus 14. I wouldn't bet them with the spread. You got to be crazy. I just told you to take the Celtics, but, again, no value, no great shakes. Next, Detroit at New Orleans. I told you to take Detroit. Andre Drummond playing out of his mind carries Detroit to the victory in New Orleans, a winner for the Gambling God. Toronto at Chicago. I told you to take Toronto to win. They did, a winner for the Gambling God. I told you to take Chicago to cover. They did, a winner for the Gambling God. Next, Sacramento at Houston, my prize of the night. I told you to take Sacramento to be ahead at halftime. They were. I told you to take Sacramento to cover the spread in the first half. They did. I told you to take Sacramento plus 12.5. They covered. I told you to buy it up to 14.5. They covered. And I told you to take them to win as a speculative value money line play. They did. That's 5 picks in the same game that all hit. You're welcome from the Gambling God. Sacramento defeats Houston 115-114 last night. Houston plays no defense. They will lose a lot of games like that. Buddy Hield going out of his mind, and the crew there in Sacramento playing a great brand of basketball. I happen to like what they've got going on there in Sacramento. Orlando at Milwaukee. I told you to take Orlando to cover. They did. They lost. I told you to take them on the money line as a speculative money line play. They lost, but they did cover the 12.5 point spread. If you bought it up to 14.5, you had it even easier. I think they lost this one by like 9 points. Orlando, a winner for the Gambling God. Next, Minnesota at Phoenix. Phoenix defeats Minnesota. They were behind. They blew it open. Dario Saric, my man. Ricky Rubio, Frank the Tank, Kelly Oubre going wild for Phoenix. A good young team. Might make a late playoff push after the All-Star break. We will see what Phoenix does. Defeating Minnesota, covering the 4, even though I just told you to take them outright, a winner for the Gambling God. Next, OKC at Utah. I told you Chris Paul, the point God, would go in there and keep that Oklahoma in that game. They never trailed. I told you to take them plus 8.5. I told you to buy it up to plus 10.5, and I told you to take them on the money line. This is a winner for the Gambling God. Next, Memphis at Golden State. I told you to take Golden State. Memphis was ahead the entire game. Jay Crowder did play with illness, didn't play well, but they didn't need him. Memphis goes in, never trails, defeats Golden State, a loser for the Gambling God. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 wins, 2 losses. That's 7 out of 9 last night for the Gambling God in your fixed NBA. Tonight, in your fixed NBA, we only have 4 matchups. Knicks at Portland. It looks too easy to take Portland minus 9. I don't like the Knicks. I'm not going to advocate taking the Knicks plus 9 or plus 11. I don't care who's coaching them. I like Portland to win this game, but I don't necessarily have any feelings about the Knicks with the spread. I think there are better options on the board. There are much better options on the board. I will stand moot on this game. Washington at Charlotte. This Washington only has 2 games this week. I like Charlotte here. They're home, coming off a loss. Washington is down a couple of men. They're integrating some new players. Thomas Bryant is out. Isaiah Thomas is out. Bertans is still coming off the bench. They still obviously have Bradley Beal. I'm going to take Charlotte at least to cover the 2. Buy it up to plus 4. I think Charlotte wins outright tonight in that one. Don't love it, but I like Charlotte to win. Denver at Philadelphia. Denver getting 5.5 points. This could be a trap. It looks too easy to take Denver. I will still take them plus the 5.5 every day of the week. I will take them on the money line as a winner. I will take them plus 7.5. Not a lot of value in Philly on the money line straight. I don't bet teams with the spreads. I will advocate Denver plus 5.5. Denver plus 7.5 if you can buy it up and take the over in this game. I think both of these teams are going to run and gun up the floor. Denver plus 7.5 if you can get it and the over. Try Denver on the money line as a speculative money line play. Let's go Jamal Murray and Gary Harris. I have you guys. Let's kick some ass tonight. Last but not least, Atlanta at Miami. Trae Young has kept Atlanta in all their games this year. I expect nothing less. Miami plays a very good brand of basketball. 8.5-point favorites. I think Miami wins. I think Atlanta covers. Buy it up to 10.5 and see what happens. I think Atlanta plus 10.5 should come in. 8.5 is tight. The only thing I'm certain on here is a Miami win. Atlanta could win. I just don't think they could put the four quarters together and knock Miami out unless it's fixed. Make sure Jimmy Butler is playing. In review, Portland beats the Knicks. Charlotte beats Washington. Denver covers against Philly. Possible win value on the money line. Miami beats Atlanta. I'm not sure about 8.5. I do like 10.5 if you could get it with Atlanta. That's your fixed NBA review from Monday the 9th and Tuesday the 10th. Gambling God coming back on the other side with your NHL, your St. Louis Blues tonight. That's your pick. Fat kid and all.